Welcome to Katzzbros podcast. I am George Katz.
And I'm Andy Katz.
And on today's episode, we'll recap NXT Takeover in your house.
But before we get into that card, I just want to remind everybody to follow us on our official YouTube channel, Katzzbros Podcast, as well as listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and iHeartRadio, as well as follow us on all social media platforms at Katzzbros Podcast.
So let's dive right into it. Obviously, there's NXT Takeover special. They usually have the one in like June, a summer one before they go do the SummerSlam one. Obviously, during the COVID wrestling pandemic era, we didn't know if this was going to do it, but they brought back In Your House, which has been retired for...
Since 97, I think?
Yeah, like 97. Yeah. It's been a while.
Well, I think like originally it used to be just for like strictly WWE. They had the pay-per-view In Your House, and then NXT kind of brought it back this year. So shout out to Hunter Hearst Helmsley and Shawn Michaels and Road Dogg.
Yeah. I mean, they even brought back the first ever what was it called? Announcer.
Oh, the announcer guy.
Yeah. What was his name?
Do you remember his name? He was so funny last night. He was doing all the. Remember how back in the 90s, if you wanted to order something, you'd have to call in the 1-900 number.
Yeah. But it was he was oh, there's no 900 number. So they were obviously doing jokes, digging jokes from the first one or the last one, I should say, to the NXT one, and how times have changed. Todd Pettingill is his name. So
that's a nice little blast from the past that they had going on last night.
Even the whole setup was
the actual in your house. They had the you're sitting on the front porch of the house. So
when they came down, all the entrances.
And we'll talk about how that scene was kind of utilized in the Gargano Keith Lee match.
Oh yeah.
But before we dive in, what did you think of the show overall?
That was a good show. I think I was invested in majority of the matches, except maybe a few, but that happens. You're not going to be invested in every match on a card.
For sure. I mean, I like the fact that it wasn't too long. I think it was 2 hours. 2 hours. 2.5 hours or something.
2 hours and 22 minutes was the official.
Wow, look at that. Look at you. Yeah. But short and sweet. And I know WWE's kind of, a lot of people have been knocking WWE lately for just having these pay-per-views that drag on forever. Especially WrestleMania before this year used to be 8 hours when you include the pre-show and all that. So I think it was smart that they broke. Yeah, I think it was smart that they broke up WrestleMania this year into 2 nights, and obviously NXT being run by Triple H, I really don't have any worries with that. He I think him compared to Vince is kind of more in touch with what the people want nowadays. So you definitely see, if you watch a Raw or SmackDown compared to an NXT episode, you definitely could tell the differences in how Triple H kind of has his fingers all over NXT compared to Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, obviously everybody wants Hunter to take over the main roster, but as long as
succeed, Vincent Kennedy McMahon.
Yeah, but as long as VKM's still breathing,
he might sell it.
If he sells it to Disney,
oh my God!
If that is true,
it's over. Disney or Fox? I know they signed that big deal with Fox. They have
if Fox, I feel maybe a little bit edgier because they do at least they have those TV shows they still run, which are
what's the show that they have on Tuesday nights?
Backstage.
Yeah, WWE Backstage.
Yeah.
I know now they're showing all old WrestleManias and they have But I don't know. I think it's between Fox and Disney.
If Disney gets it, it's gonna be a joke. It's gonna be so kid friendly.
Yeah.
I don't
know. It's gonna. I mean, it's bad enough. It's already PG.
Yeah.
But I feel it'll just go to rated G at this point.
Yeah. I don't have to do Welcome to Disney. What was it? Back in the day before
that's
show.
my era of Disney when they'd be hi, But I'd be hi, this is Triple H, and you are watching NXT Takeover on Disney.
That's the way they're heading, but I hope not. I think it's time to get to the main card. They kicked off the show. Actually, they kicked off the show with the song for the show. It was Code Orange was the band. Underneath maybe. That's how they kicked off the show.
That was pretty cool. They gave him a little performance to kind of get the crowd going, even though it's it's wrestlers that are planted in the crowd. But what are you gonna do?
Can't do anything.
It's the COVID era.
Yeah.
Gotta do the best of what you got. Let's try. Continue.
Start the match. The first match of the night was Mia Yim, Shotzi Blackheart, Tegan Knox versus Candice, LeRae, Raquel Gonzalez, and Dakota Kai. Really, Shotzi was really...
Wait, you're talking about Shotzi?
Shotzi, Jesus. Right. Shotzi was coming up out of nowhere, and she's been getting a lot of momentum recently, so she was added to this match. But the real key storylines were Mia Yim and Candice LeRae, because they were obviously a part of Keith Lee and Gargano's match.
Yeah, and for those who don't know, obviously Candice LeRae is married to Gargano. Mia Yim is she's married
dating,
to? Yeah, she's dating Keith Lee. So it's kind of cool how they have they have those storylines kind of intertwined together.
And then Dakota Kai and Tegan Nox have been going at it ever since back to War Games when Dakota Kai attacked Tegan Nox.
Yeah, that was a good heel turn.
They gave her a heater now in Raquel Gonzalez.
Yeah, I mean, me personally, I don't know what her background is. I don't know if she was on the Indies anywhere or not. But I don't know. Did you know anything about her before? I know that's the hardest thing too. Like when you're trying to debut someone during this like COVID pandemic era of wrestling, where there's really there's no fans. I mean, I know at home like we're going crazy like when the Revival debuted.
Revival, Brian Cage.
Yeah, but that just it just shows you like, especially with wrestling, like the crowd
plays such a huge factor.
Yeah, 100%, and that's literally what I'm gonna miss. Or that's what I've been missing this whole time. Yeah. But like you said, yeah, Raquel Gonzalez, nice heater to
Dakota.
Yeah, obviously they were still. She's what's her name? Tegan Nox is still. She's still sporting that brace that Dakota attacked her with at War Games, which, and coincidentally we were at. So
those are good War Games
for sure. What do you think?
Well, I think Tegan actually like. I think she got injured in one of the Mae Young Classics. I think. Like.
Oh yeah, I think like
you're
she
right. Blew out her knee.
Yeah.
So and they attacked that obviously when Dakota turned back in November.
Yeah, some good psychology.
Yeah.
I don't know. Overall,
I
need to cut you off.
No, overall it was a good match. I mean, Mia Yim, Shotzi, and Tegan picked up the win. I don't think we're all surprised.
No, I mean, it was a good start of the match. I think this was kind of the matches where it's like, okay, how can I get everybody involved on the card? So, no shocker, it was a six woman tag match. Mm-hmm. It was a good back and forth action. Like I said, I think there was no surprise that the baby faces won in this case. So it was a good kickoff. It was a good kickoff match. No complaints.
Yeah. Next match was Finn Balor versus Damian Priest, and this all started with like
a month ago or so.
Yeah, where Damian Priest, it was like a mystery attacker for Finn, like tore up his locker room, and then in one of the matches, Damian Priest came and attacked Finn, which is interesting because I think Finn, he just turned because of Damian being heel, because he was a heel.
Yeah, he was working
when he came back to NXT. He was a
when
heel.
He came back in was it September?
I don't know, but this whole run he was like
he was a heel. Yeah, once he left the main roster. You know, I know over the summer, I think he faced Bray Wyatt or the Fiend.
Yeah, he got
demolished. So he went away. I know he got married to his girlfriend. Then he came back, kind of whole new look, buzz cut, tattoos. So he got a re-debuted on the NXT roster. So yeah, up until now, this whole time he was a heel. But yeah, the dynamic was he definitely flipped to babyface, and Damian was the heel.
Because Damian he's a good heel. I mean, everything was. This was a pretty good, interesting match. Damian came out first, and then Finn came out and attacked him right away before the bell rang.
Which is kind of interesting because I feel like that's like a heel move.
Yeah.
So that's why he was kind of like a tweener in this.
So I'm curious to see what they're gonna do with Finn after this now.
Right.
If he's gonna stay like full baby heel, or full heel. Yeah. So like this was like
he was a tweener definitely in this one.
Because Priest was just coming off those triple threat matches and number one contendership with Dijakovic for Keith Lee and all that.
Yeah, for the North American title, I think. Yeah.
I think Dijakovic, I don't know, I think he might get called up. I've been reading.
That's why I think he's going to Raw because I know Riddle went to SmackDown.
Because we all know why Riddle went to SmackDown. Mr. Lesnar, not a big fan of Riddle, so they had to give it to SmackDown.
Yeah. But I mean, Dijakovic wasn't even on the card, so that just kind of gives you more. That just kind of pulls back the curtain more that he's definitely get called up. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets called up tonight. I mean, it is Monday, so we'll see. But even with Priest too, I think aren't there rumors that he's supposed to get called up too?
Okay, here's the thing with all the call-ups. I'm gonna touch upon this when we get to the Adam Cole match, though.
Okay.
But this was a good match. They had a nice spot where Priest was gonna go for the Razor's Edge on Balor outside on the steps, but Finn countered and hit him with a forearm and Priest went back. Good back and forth. I feel everything was nice, smooth, fluid, back and forth match. And then
everybody
Finn
got their
obviously
stuff
won
in.
with a coup de grace at the end, picked up the W.
Yeah, and then I know like he did a post match interview with I forgot her name on the back, but he was basically
Braxton?
what's
Kayla
up?
Braxton?
No, not Caleb. It was the blonde hair girl.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know, but anyway, he basically like to sum it up, he was just saying that the name Damian Priest will live on. He kind of like set out what he was like, what he wanted to accomplish. So it kind of sounded like he was kind of saying farewell and was gonna get his call up. But like I said, we'll talk more about those call ups and when we get to the Adam Cole Velveteen Dream match. But yeah, like I said, solid match. This is kind of where I started getting into it.
Yeah. I remember like Priest and Dijakovic in ROH when
he was punished by Martinez.
Big man, really athletic, and then Dijakovic also another big man.
Mm-hmm.
So those matches they did with Keith Lee, like both athletic big men, all three of them.
Even to piggyback off of that, I know obviously Keith Lee wrestled Dijakovic on NXT, but their matches on the Indies, it was like the best of 3 series, I think, or something like. He was praised for those matches on the Indies. I know it wasn't. A lot of people were saying it wasn't to the level of their NXT matches, but they were still really solid and really good matches, especially for big men. And we'll talk about like how agile Keith Lee is for a man of his size, no doubt.
Let's get to that match. Keith Lee versus Johnny Gargano for the NXT North American Championship.
All right, break it down. How do we get here, George?
Johnny Wrestling was coming off the feud with Ciampa, where he turned heel in the final match. What was it, like Once and For All with Candice LeRae? So
NXT Portland, right?
Yeah. No. It was just like it was the NXT like WrestleMania one.
Oh, that's where he finished up.
But like they were doing that Wednesday.
Isn't NXT Portland where he turned on him, where Gargano hit Ciampa in the face with the title?
Yeah. Portland is where he hit him, but then like full blown with Candice was that like set up Triple H game like one stop, like who was basically the face.
Yeah.
He had the cup when Candice, so we thought Ciampa was gonna win, but he had the cup, and then Candice low blows Ciampa. Gargano wins with Candice. They're full blown heels. Give him something new.
I mean, the whole thing with that was like obviously the payoff was. Obviously, we know that the feud between Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa started 3 years ago. I think it was at the first NXT Takeover Chicago when they lost to Authors of Pain in the ladder match, and then remember they're at the top of the entrance. Ciampa turns on him. So this whole time, Ciampa was the heel, Gargano was the face. Then they had those excellent series of matches at all the takeovers.
And then Ciampa went away with the match.
Ciampa got hurt.
He won the belt.
Well, he won the belt, Then Ciampa got hurt, so he went away, and then Gargano won the belt for a little bit. Then Adam Cole took it off.
It was like Gargano, Cole, like the New York WrestleMania, and then Ciampa came out, was like happy. So it was like they were both babyface, and then
So we thought because of the whole situation with Ciampa's neck, that this storyline was put to rest. However, back in NXT Portland in February, Ciampa wants Goldie back because that's what he calls the title. So he's facing Adam Cole. Gargano comes out. We're thinking obviously he's going to support Ciampa.
Because he couldn't beat Cole.
Because Gargano couldn't beat Cole, so we figured
he did, but he lost it.
Right. It was a transitional title reign, I'd say. But like I said, a guy like Gargano, he doesn't really need the belts to be a top player. He is Mr. NXT. I mean, they call him Johnny Takeover.
Well, even when Ciampa had the belt, Gargano also had the North American belt at the time.
So like I said, he's one of those guys that no matter if he's got the mid-level or the mid-card belts or the championship or even no belts at all, like he's still going to be a main event player.
Johnny Wrestling, like
exactly.
He's out there. He knows how he can work with anyone.
Right. So going back to that, so at the NXT Takeover Portland show, Ciampa's wrestling Cole. Gargano comes out. I think Ciampa reaches for the belt. Or something, and then Gargano costs him because he hits him with the belt. And then that kind of changes the whole dynamic of the feud, where Gargano goes from babyface to heel. Ciampa went from heel to babyface. And obviously, the whole point of the storyline was it was going to have their blow-off match at WrestleMania, at the NXT Takeover WrestleMania. But obviously, because of the pandemic, there was with not having any fans in the crowd, that just got pushed to an episode, a post-WrestleMania episode of NXT.
Like, I didn't like how they did that for NXT. Like, they posted, like, all the WrestleMania matches on a Wednesday.
Yeah. I don't
really, I mean, then, they just put up, like, the marquee logo for the, like, whatever their Orlando takeover was. I was like,
oh, yeah.
All right, I understand, but, like, at least give them the Saturday. And or Sunday 2-night. But
yeah, at least they could have just put it on the WrestleMania card. They could have been like, this match is too big to be held in NXT. We gotta have a blow off for WrestleMania or something, or at least hold off till. Like, my thing is, like, if they held off till when we got fans back, obviously we don't know when that's going to happen. And I feel like at that point it just stagnates the whole division and, like, the storylines going forward.
I'm surprised Vince, I don't know if he's considered this yet, but I know Texas just approved the 25% capacity. I'm surprised he's not going to do SummerSlam in Texas.
Because wasn't it originally supposed to be in Boston?
Yeah. I'm surprised they haven't considered that to get fans back because they're 25% in Texas.
Yeah. And that's obviously going to be more than
you still got to do the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, you still have. I feel like that'll be moved to summer, hopefully.
That's what I'm saying. So just do the Hall of Fame. So I would say move SummerSlam to your 25% Texas, and then do the Hall of Fame also that weekend.
Yeah, the 25% capacity.
Instead of pushing it back a whole year, and you're just like push it back another inductee.
Yeah.
Like, I think NWO was going this year.
Yeah, it was NWO. Obviously the Bellas.
Yeah, well,
I know how you feel about that.
You could take Big Game John.
Big Game John. Honestly, I think. Because of where we're at, you're gonna have to do the induction ceremony on one of the big 4 pay-per-views, which obviously we know is WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, and then the Royal Rumble.
So I mean Survivor. Okay, so obviously we passed Mania, so it's either
SummerSlam, Survivor Series, or Royal Rumble next year.
But I feel like if we're gonna do the Rumble, we might as well just do it at Mania.
Yeah, or just do a combo class. I don't know.
That's gonna be large, dude, with all the speeches. Hell
That's
no.
true,
That's literally gonna be WrestleMania 8 hours. Like hell no.
Yeah, that's what they're trying to avoid. But anyway, going back to the Keith Lee match, obviously
the build up to this was interesting. They honestly, when we said earlier, they did incorporate In Your House because they were doing vignettes and promos and like in a house territory.
Yeah, they were making fun of, or Keith Lee and Mia Yim were making fun of Gargano and Candice, how they had those segments.
Yeah.
Like how they were like, it was almost kind of like, remember like years ago when Cena and Nikki Bella were feuding with Mike, or with the Miz and Maurice, and they had those segments like the vignettes in the house. So I think that was kind of cool, playing off the name Takeover In Your House. But Keith Lee, I mean, for the mammoth man that he is, he just moves like, I don't want to say cruiserweight, but bask in his glory, limitless. But he's just he's like, for being a big guy, like there's really no limits to him. Honestly, obviously that's why they call him Limitless Keith Lee. But anyway, what were your takes from this? Obviously,
leading up to the match.
Yeah.
Gargano attacked him with a key in his eye, scratched the retina was the official energy. Then he jammed his fingers up in the steps by kicking the steps. Mm-hmm. So they really incorporated that into the match. They really worked on it. Even when Gargano's entrance, he came through the door, like from like his house that he was. Yeah. And he had the key to lock it up, and he put it where like his
trunks. Yeah.
Where Marvin, I was like, oh, the infamous where he kept the cup for the Ciampa match. He's gonna keep the key. Yeah. And they really worked the hand in the match. And the eye, Gargano worked, and Keith Lee obviously is going to overpower him because he's got his power. So Gargano, it was good psychology with like big little man.
For sure.
You got to go after the injuries you already accomplished being the heel, and Keith Lee is so powerful, he's just going to power you.
Right, and they did really good. They didn't overdo it with the pinfalls, like the two and 3/4 kickouts. I know, like, I think it's kind of hard to do that.
It's not believable for Johnny to do it in this match.
Keith Lee,
but like in the Ciampa and Coles, it's more realistic. Even that Andrade match he had, like at that Royal Rumble.
Oh yeah. When I think that was when he lost, and then Ciampa came back and attacked. I think that was the one where he attacked him. But no, you're right. Just dealing with psychology, like just making it believable. Like how many 2 3/4 pinfalls are you gonna get on a guy the size of Keith Lee?
Exactly. So they didn't do
knowing
that
your
much.
Psychology for sure. Honestly, obviously we know that. Keith Lee went over. I was kind of surprised because I know there were rumors of him getting called up too.
Exactly. Okay, with all the call-ups,
the roster, like you're gonna thin out the roster.
Exactly.
And it's bad enough that they're getting destroyed in the ratings to AEW on Wednesday nights.
Okay, but I understand why. I think everyone understands why they moved the Wednesdays NXT and the USA Network. Like I'm fine with the USA Network, but like the Wednesday because they want AEW to have it to themselves. Like it's like AEW, like without literally big stars, and you're like,
I'll be honest, like for me, like I'd rather watch AEW. Like I can't. Maybe I think it's been since September when NXT was the sole wrestling show on Wednesday nights where I would watch a full episode, but now I can't. Like,
there's so many stars on AEW, especially now with the TNT title. Like Cody's gonna be putting on matches every week.
Yeah, they're gonna do what John Cena did like a couple of years ago with the US title. They're just gonna elevate all those unknown, and I don't want to say unproven talents, but like you said, the unknown talents, he's gonna use his title and the title defenses to elevate them, like how Cena did back then with Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens,
Stardust. They had a good match.
Cesaro,
and all of them.
And that's smart. And I feel like that's kind of where I feel like WWE's ego is gonna get in the way. Like I get it, they won the Monday Night Wars back in the day against WCW.
But they have a bunch of morons running WCW.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you don't have a bunch of morons running AEW. Like it's contrary to what Jim Cornette believes. Obviously, that's a story for another day.
Cornette, he's off in La La Land. Let him be. He's just mad. He's just still mad at the Stadium Stampede match.
But it's sports entertainment. Like, what do you
like? I don't like WWE did the same thing with the cinematic matches.
Yeah, but is it because it's Taker and AJ? Like Cornette's not gonna say anything. I don't know.
But Jericho, but I think it's just because it was the Bucks and Kenny, and he just hates how
and he hates them. Anything they do, like he's always just. I feel like he's automatically gonna bash. Yeah. Like he just has to get up with the times. And I love Jim Cornette. Like I'll listen to his podcast.
He just had FTR.
I was gonna ask you about that. Did you get a chance to listen to that?
I saw and read like how FTR isn't like officially. Like,
it's like a handshake deal, so it's like a per appearance.
Which makes sense. I think FTR would want to do the loop like Cody did before he went.
I would too.
They want to go to ROH. Come on, they gotta fight the Briscoes. They want to go to TNA and fight.
You think they fight Gallows and Anderson if they go?
Dude, Gallows and Anderson is coming up in July. They're definitely going to Japan.
I heard they're going to go to Japan. Side note, they're going to go to Japan, do the loop there, and then do some work here in the States.
Nah, they're so big in Japan.
Well, yeah. Well, when Carl Anderson goes, well, I was kind of a legend back in Japan.
And that's not even egoing.
No, not at all. That's just a fact. I mean, when they first started Bullet Club back in 2013, like they were like, But like I said, everybody has dreams and ambitions of coming to WWE. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for them. And in a way, like selfishly, I'm kind of glad that they get a fresh start because of the product that WWE produces being the PG era. It doesn't. You can't really showcase.
They misutilize them so much.
Right. Yeah. They basically. Yeah. You can't.
Same thing with FTR.
For sure, and that's a problem. Like sometimes, it just doesn't work out. It's no fault to them. Like who they are as wrestlers. Mm-hmm. Like you just got to find the right fit. I mean, even now that they have Talking Shop back and all that stuff, like now that they're just like they're freelancers, I think that's the best. But anyway, going back to Keith Lee, Johnny Gargano. I know we said Keith Lee won. I was surprised because, like I said, I thought he was gonna get called up. What about you?
Not really. I don't think Gargano. Like we said, he doesn't need the belt. It wouldn't have made no sense to make him a 2-time champ. You got to keep somebody. It wouldn't have been credible anyways for Johnny to win clean. Obviously, if he was going to win, he was going to need Candice to help, but that doesn't make sense because you already pretty much, by Mia Yim winning, you pretty much kind of told me Keith Lee was going to win.
Yeah, I guess. And I don't think, has Keith Lee been beat in NXT nonetheless being like clean?
I don't think so.
That's what I'm saying. So like for an attraction like that, like you got to protect him. You got to protect him. So I mean, like I said, Gargano's one of those guys where like he could take a loss. It's not going to hurt him like long-term booking. So yeah, solid match. Like I said, Keith Lee. Like I didn't really know like about his time in the Indies, like when he was with Evolve and all that. Like I'd say it wasn't until probably Survivor Series this year where I kind of honed in and like zoomed in on him, like his work. Exactly, his work. Him and Roman being one of the final survivors in the Survivor Series match. Obviously, the infamous the Royal Rumble part. The Royal Rumble.
We got touched upon this.
Yeah.
Oh, when Lesnar was dismantling everyone, and then Keith Lee comes in, camera cuts to Lesnar, and Lesnar's like, "We got a big boy now coming for me."
He goes, Paul, who's this guy? He's a big boy. He's a big boy.
I'm like,
oh god.
I'm like, all right, Brock. Like it was kind of funny. Like Brock is one of those guys. Even like if the camera cuts him in a certain spot, like he'll be hilarious. Even though and he doesn't care about breaking character because it's goddamn Brock. No one's gonna say shit to him. He'll kill you.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
And then when he had the Money in the Bank and they did the Brock party,
with the boombox,
that shit was hilarious.
No, for sure. That's what I'm saying. Like I know Brock's gotten a lot of flack, especially since he beat Taker to end the streak. But I feel like now that Paul Heyman's running Raw. It's basically like the head of creative back there. Yeah. You know, like he's kind of utilizing those little segments with Brock just to make it funny. And like the thing with Brock is like he'll put talent over. Like I know he's kind of had the knock about that. Yeah. I know Ambrose came out years ago and kind of like was disappointed with his WrestleMania Street fight, but I don't know. Like lately, obviously we know Brock Lesnar's a part-timer, but
he actually stood up for the locker room at WrestleMania weekend.
Oh yeah.
When he attacked Vince backstage, like about tapings and stuff, he basically told him like F off, like you don't care about our safety and work in this pandemic. You just keep on making it. So he stood up for the locker room, which shocked a lot of people when that report came out.
Yeah.
Because Brock, he's usually...
And Brock's in his own world.
He doesn't like people. He stated that many times, and he lives in, like, some farm in, like... Canada, like, off, like, nowhere can find
you remember, was it last year's WrestleMania when, obviously, the marquee is the championship, and that's usually the match that goes last, but they made him go first because he wanted to get the hell out of there. But when you're a main attraction and you get to call the shots, that's what happens. It was a hell of a match. They pulled Rollins over. You know, even his match, even his WrestleMania match with Goldberg. Like, I know it wasn't exactly a wrestling.
The one at 33. Oh.
I mean, they all got their spots in.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that hard. You can give me a little jackhammer here, spear there, suplex here.
Well, yeah, but I think it was better than a lot of people thought it would. You know, I'm not expecting. When you have Brock Lesnar, you're not going to expect a 5-star match.
Unless it's like a triple threat fatal 4-way, it'll go like 10 minutes, 10, 15, 20 minutes.
Right. And I mean, even his match with Brock Lesnar, or was it Brock Lesnar versus Finn a couple years ago at the Rumble?
That was a good match.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he does well even like with small wrestlers because you got to make it believable. Like, no one of that size is going to conquer Brock, obviously. And you know, if he's going to be if he's the guy that they picked to beat Undertaker's streak, you know, they're going to protect his character for life now.
You have to. Right. I think it makes sense because he went to the UFC, won the belt like he's a killer.
Right.
That was the only makes sense. I mean, for Triple H, or I mean not Triple H, to beat Taker Street, you couldn't have Shawn do it. You couldn't have Triple H do it.
It's got to be someone that matters. And Brock was on a downfall, like as far as like big match wins at pay-per-views during that time. So it was perfect. It was believable.
Yeah.
It was credible. Like I was shocked. You were shocked. Everyone was. Yeah.
I mean, if not Brock, it should have been the year before when it was Punk. If not Brock.
Yeah, I mean, Edge, he was supposed to beat in 2008, but he respectfully declined because he had too much respect for it. But again, that would have...
Orton, too, I think.
I think Orton, Orton was supposed to, but that's what I'm saying. Like, that just shows you the clout and the respect that Brock carries in the locker room. Yeah. Or, sorry, that Undertaker carries in the Undertaker carries in the locker room.
Yeah.
But anyway, moving on. I know this is what I love. Like, we just have one wrestler, but that just shows you like the history that they all have together. You can talk about one wrestler, and you can go down the rabbit hole like in the past, because that's just like I said. Everybody has history with everybody in the business.
But the next match was Adam Cole baby versus Velveteen Dream.
God, you did that so well.
In a backstage brawl for the NXT Championship.
All right, what's the backstory on this one? Obviously,
Velveteen got attacked by Undisputed Era. He went on the shelf for a little bit, so they ran him off. And finally came back.
Who's in Undisputed Era really fast? That was the faction. For some of our viewers who may not know,
Cole, Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong.
Yeah, the core four of ROH. I feel, in a way. But obviously, they're the best thing going for for NXT the past 3 years. Hands
Probably
down.
the best thing going.
Period.
Like
wrestling.
Not all wrestling, because you got the inner circle. Like,
right.
Hot.
But I'm saying,
WWE standpoint, I mean, other than that,
I agree. But
maybe Seth.
Yeah, I like his gimmick, especially now the Savior Messiah gimmick that he has.
Which is kind of hard now that like Becky's pregnant, he's got to be a heel, but he's doing all these interviews as a babyface. So it's like
and that's what I'm saying. Like everybody, when you pull back the curtain, like thanks to the click, kind of exposing the business back then. We know that like listen, there's two fronts. There's your personal life and there's the character, the persona you play. So I feel like, and I know we talked about what was it, Money in the Bank when he wrestled Drew McIntyre. And they shook hands and he said, "Thank you."
Oh, Seth, yeah.
Yeah, when Seth
I think, and then the next night Becky announced the price, so I was like, "Oh, okay."
Right. So, like I said, everybody knows like who they are as people, and then who they are as like their characters, which I think is really cool.
Yeah. But this match,
and if we talk about the whole thing with Adam Cole, like I know there's rumors of him kind of going to AEW.
Oh, because contract's up, and his girlfriend, longtime girlfriend, like 3-4 years, Britt Baker, which is the only like
credible, established
women's
female
star.
Wrestler, yeah.
I mean, Hikaru, they put the belt on, but
Hikaru Shida.
Yeah.
But, but for sure, I mean, obviously they had the Memorial Day party, and he was spotted there, so of course, everybody on the internet's like, oh my god, Adam Cole to AEW.
And it's not like he, like, just because he signed with NXT, like, he didn't, like, blow off the Bucks or Kenny or any of them. He's still close. Like, same thing with Marty.
They're still lifelong friends, and Marty,
Like, even though Marty, like, okay, everybody thought Marty was going to be the exalted one.
Yeah.
But
Marty's got
contract.
Yeah, Marty's got that freelancing contract where he's the booker for he books Ring of Honor, but he can still wrestle on shows like NWA Power. Obviously, he was in Being the Elite.
I'm curious where that's gonna go.
Which one? Oh, with
Marty. I'm curious now. Like,
I don't know. I mean, does he come in all out? I know wasn't he supposed to wrestle Nick Aldis at the Crockett Cup? Yeah, but obviously that got postponed because of COVID. God, there's so many. Listen, pandemics are terrible. But in general, no doubt. But this one just like destroyed any momentum. Yeah, this one destroyed any momentum, especially not wrestling. Yeah, especially wrestling this year.
The big four of professional sports. Then you got wrestling, and then you got MMA.
Yeah. But anyway, so Adam Cole, like he was negotiating with Regal. He goes, fine, but when I beat Velveteen Dream, he can no longer challenge for the title.
As long as I'm champ.
As long as he's champ, which we know in wrestling terms, that's basically mean either someone's getting, their contract's coming up and they're going to sign somewhere else, or they're going to get called up to the main roster. So take it away. What do you got for us?
So Velveteen came back this year after his time off, attacked Adam and Undisputed is the first thing, but like of course the number games was a problem, and then they did and Dexter Lumis.
Yeah, who is that? The formerly known as Samuel Shaw during his TNA Impact days.
But like Dexter Lumis came and it was like
he was kind of like supposed to be like the equalizer to take out like Strong and O'Reilly and Fish. But we'll talk about that.
Characters.
He
took the Dexter
from the Dexter show,
and then he took the Dr. Loomis from Michael Myers and put it into one. Like literally, his outfit is how Dexter kills people. Like how Dexter dresses to kill people.
Yeah,
and he's a good character. Like because it's the character he also had in TNA as Sam Shaw.
Yeah, like that like stalker gimmick. Yeah. Shout out Diamond Dallas Page.
But going to this match, Adam Cole is the longest reigning NXT champion. He's been over a year this year. Obviously, there was the rumors because Britt said like, "Oh, I forgot. I don't know. I don't want to misquote her. I don't want to misquote her."
But he like still keeps in touch with the Bucks. They're obviously lifelong friends.
And she goes, "Sooner rather than later." She said something about like sooner rather than later about him, but like he's doing so well in NXT. And when his contract's up, like it's not like they're gonna give him the money.
Right, he's Tripp's boy. Triple H basically handpicked him to. Well, not just him, but like obviously in the group of like the way I look at it is like there's the tier 1 players of like Cole, Gargano, Ciampa, obviously Undisputed Era too.
Rhea for the women's.
Yeah, Rhea, obviously Charlotte because they were moving her back and forth.
We'll get into that.
Why am I blanking on Rhea Ripley?
Keith Lee now.
Keith Lee.
It's like Keith Lee's like that tier 2 trying to break into tier 1. He's like right there.
For sure, yeah.
But now that is the belt team out. Finn, even Finn, he doesn't need the belt anymore.
No, I mean he was already established in NXT his first run. He was Mr. NXT. I think he was the longest reigning champion until
Adam broke it.
Right. But I'll be honest, like this backstage brawl match, it kind of gave me the feel of remember years ago when John Cena wrestled Eddie Guerrero in like the parking lot brawl.
Yeah,
because they had like all the cars lined up outside. Obviously, they had the ring in the middle for this one. But yeah, I mean, back and forth.
Adam came in like with a truck, and Velveteen came in with like I think a Ferrari.
Yeah, he kind of looked. Velveteen kind of looked like Negan from The Walking Dead with the bat and then like the leather jacket.
Okay, the thing with the bat, I'm just gonna touch that.
I know where you're going with this.
I feel
like they're ripping off
Chris Jericho, like
and Floyd the Bat
did it. He didn't even use the bat.
So, really?
I don't remember even use the bat. He dropped it right away.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I was like,
cool. Again, anything Chris Jericho touches turns to gold.
I'm like, okay, what are you gonna name this? Lloyd or something? Like,
yeah, Lloyd the Bat.
Like I was like, okay.
Lloyd, the cousin of Floyd.
Yeah. And eventually, they had a good match. Brawl, though, obviously all over because it's a backstage brawl. But eventually,
remember the spot with the fire extinguisher when Velveteen opened the door?
Eventually, Velveteen had momentum. I think he was about to put Adam away, and
then who gets involved?
Hear a bunch of cars honking, and it's the rest of Undisputed. It's
I think it was just O'Reilly and
no, I think it was just Fish and Strong.
Or Fish and Strong, yeah. O'Reilly, I know he has he has diabetes, so I'm assuming that puts because he hasn't been on TV since the whole pandemic. So I'm assuming that puts him in the at-risk category.
Which is smart. He needs to take care of himself.
Right. So that makes sense. I do miss him though. I know a lot of people are saying like if Undisputed Era were ever to break up, they want to see O'Reilly kind of take the reins from Cole, which I could see. But anyway, side note. So yeah, Undisputed Era comes with Fish and Strong, and then to counter that, like you were talking about earlier,
they put the chair. I don't know. This was weird. They slammed the chair down.
But yeah, they filled the ring with chairs, didn't they?
Eventually. But this one, they threw the chair outside right by the ring, and then you see the chair disappear, and then they look under, and you see Dexter Lumis appear. Creepy, really creepy. And then he like starts beating up Fish and Strong and packs them in his trunk.
Yeah, he basically kidnaps them.
Basically what Dexter does before he kills someone. He
right.
sedates them and puts them in their trunk and then
very look at you, man.
That was good because I've seen that show twice. It was very well done.
Side note on that, I was on Twitter today and Marina Shafir,
Roddy's wife.
Roderick Strong's wife tweeted, "Has anyone seen my husband? I didn't wake up next to him this morning. Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, what's going on?" So it's kind of cool. Obviously, we know it's a work, but it's kind of cool when they kind of when they have art imitate life and bring it together. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so they drove off, and this was kind of like where they brought it home. I feel.
Yeah, and then what Adam hit him with? Why am I blanking?
Panama.
Was it the Panama City?
Panama City Sun or what's his
Panama City Sunrise?
Yeah, he hits it. I thought while he was doing that, Velveteen countered it.
He did earlier.
Because then he got the pinfall.
Why am I blinking how they finished this match right now? But did he hit him with the knee strike or the Panama City?
I can't remember.
Either way, Adam won.
Yeah.
So that
it's one of I know he did hit him with the Panama City Sunrise, but that's when Velveteen countered. So I don't know if he hit him again. Like I said, we kind of watched this card late because we came, we
were busy.
Yeah. So I can't remember this one, but anyway, Adam Cole wins, thus continuing his
long reign. So that kind of puts away for a little bit, like he's leaving for AEW and stuff.
Well, he re-signed. Well, I heard that he re-signed a 3-year contract sometime in 2019. So I don't know. I'm assuming he's staying. Obviously,
who knows with contracts? I think people make up contracts just if it's like a slow news day in the rumors.
Could be. I mean, let's just say if Adam Cole was leaving, they would have done the time-honored tradition to drop the belt. But
he's not gonna leave with the belt, so
no,
but with Velveteen losing, he can't challenge until Adam's there, and then this is where we're gonna get back to
the call-ups. Yeah.
Okay, so Riddle's gone.
Yeah, Riddle. Okay, so Riddle's on SmackDown. I think Dijakovic's gonna. The rumor mill has him on Raw. Probably is released tonight.
If Priest goes up,
which I don't understand because I feel like he didn't. For me personally, and like I said, this is just me watching it. I don't think he did enough to kind of establish himself. He was there for such a short time. Like
him and Dijakovic came in at the same time.
Yeah.
When they rated ROH, they all took him. Yeah.
Yeah. Was that even? So have they been there for like a year or close to a year?
Yeah. So this doesn't just make sense to me. Okay, you take them. Who's gonna challenge Cole for the belt?
That's what I'm saying. Everybody's gone. Unless, but wait. Segue into our co-main event: Tommaso Ciampa versus Karrion Kross,
with
the former
Scarlett Bordeaux. Yeah, that too.
Obviously, Karrion Kross, the former Killer Kross from Impact. I mean, obviously,
made his debut, attacked Ciampa from backstage. Is how they set it up.
Yeah,
and it was like their thing is like TikTok for Ciampa, and Ciampa's like a Psycho.
The Psycho Killer, yeah.
And they brought Karrion, who's even like
a bigger. He's kind of like got like I don't know. He's got like this satanic.
Yeah.
Like, are they trying to do the whole like Mordecai gimmick with him again? But like,
but better,
but without flopping. Yeah.
Scarlett though.
I mean, I was shocked because like, I'm not shocked, but like I knew what they were gonna do with this one. Obviously,
made it. This was a 6-minute match where Karrion Kross
dominated.
Pat makes Tommaso pass out.
Yeah.
So I think that at that point, I think Karrion's the only realistic for Adam now. If everybody's gone,
if Adam's gonna drop the belt, the way they're going with Karrion Kross, like he's got to be the one to take it off. Because think about it, you have an established star, one of like the top 3 guys in NXT, and Tommaso Ciampa. Karrion's got dismantled by Karrion. Karrion's no selling everything that Tommaso's throwing at him.
Exactly.
So because I was so confused too, because I'm like, wow, that was really short. And then I know we talked about it earlier today, like, okay, if you look at who got called up, kind of who's left. So I feel like they're building up Karrion Kross.
It's the only realistic. Keith already has a North American.
And Keith doesn't really need the title either.
Yeah.
I mean, like you say, he already has a North American title.
Finn, no.
Finn, like I said, he already had his first stint, so he's already established.
Velveteen can't challenge. Loomis, that would destroy.
That would destroy his whole thing because he's like, not like, I don't know, maybe one day, like a couple years from now, but not right now. Like,
I don't think Velveteen was I don't think he was ready, so that's why Adam won.
And Velveteen, like, he's been so successful. Like, even his matches with, when he first started, remember Aleister Black, the whole Say My Name thing? Ricochet, yeah. We were there for that one. It was one of the NXT Chicago matches, yeah.
But, like,
he's so young. He's only 24, so, like, the sky's the limit for him.
But now with Adam beating him, like, I don't know what's next. Like, I'm curious what's next for Adam.
I'm curious what's next for Adam. I'm curious what's next for Velveteen. Obviously, we know with Tommaso Ciampa, he came out in late 2019. He did that interview. Because of his neck problems, like he told Triple H, like, listen, due to my condition, like I cannot do the main roster, like the whole loop, like 300 plus days on the road. Like it's either like I stay in NXT or like I retire. So like he's always going to be, due to his due to unfortunate circumstances, he will be in NXT for life, which is kind of a blessing in disguise for them too, because from how far him and Johnny have come from like the Cruiserweight Classic back in 2016 to DIY to literally branching out, because they didn't really get contracts in the beginning either. They were just invites to the Cruiserweight Classic.
Yeah.
They would just do spot shows. They would just work on like a per appearance basis.
Because they were still with Evolve.
Right, and then obviously we know WWE gobbled up Evolve and kind of made it its own thing. That's how they got Riddle and all them.
Lee.
Yeah, Keith Lee. But yeah, definitely Karrion Kross is like the next monster they're gonna build up. Especially like you said, if you're gonna squash one of the originals in Ciampa in 6 minutes and no sell, it doesn't take a genius to figure out where they're going with that.
Well, I think it's gonna be simple. This is where we're gonna tell if Adam is actually gonna go to AEW.
So you think that report of him re-signing is false?
I don't know. I didn't sign on that lad for him.
No, but I'm saying like it's out there.
Well, who came out? Unless Meltzer said it's the only thing I believe.
I haven't heard anything from Meltzer, so
okay.
It could be a slow news day. Oh no! But here's my side. Not that it really matters, but like if he does sign with AEW, how are they going to explain him on being the elite? Because remember when they killed him, when they poisoned him?
He resurrected. They'll do the Matt Hardy Lake of Reincarnation thing. Like I don't know.
Probably.
That would be the only okay.
Or they'll say he faked his death.
No, because I think they showed it. Those do the Lake of Reincarnation.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing: if he goes to AEW, do you have him do something with Britt Baker right away, or just have him establish himself?
Well, he's already established. Britt needs to carry the women's division on her own. Obviously, it's.
I wouldn't pair them together right away.
No, they don't need to be paired together.
No, but as a fan, everyone's gonna want to see that down the road.
This isn't John Cena, Nikki Bella over here, right?
It's the farthest thing from it. I know.
Exit. All right, this is established stars doing their own thing. All right,
established stars.
Like Adam could fight Mox, Cage. There's so many options for him down there.
Does he join the elite?
Probably not.
I mean,
it doesn't make sense. They killed him.
That's true.
How do you join your murderers? You gonna give me an answer, or there's no answer?
I mean, I think that speaks for itself.
Okay.
All right. So and this is a big if. We don't know. Unless those reports are true and he signed. But let's play devil's advocate and just assume they.
Okay, let's play both sides. If he stays, who the hell is gonna take the belt off him?
It's gotta be Karrion.
Okay, then
because it doesn't make sense. Next? You're not gonna have. They gotta. You know how like NXT comes in waves.
I'll say some big name.
Right, but like I feel like Karrion's gonna be the main guy for the next wave of like, you know how like I said like NXT has those waves of talent where like you remember there was the Drew McIntyre era,
Cole,
Cole, Gargano, and then even and Ciampa, even before them Bobby Roode, Shinsuke Nakamura, Kevin Owens, Joe, Sami Zayn.
But
like
it was like Owens and Zayn, but then it was like and then Finn.
Yeah, they always did. I think Finn kind of came in the same time. Even Hideo Itami, they were part of that like 2014 crowd.
Won the belt.
Right.
And that's why he left. He split.
Yeah, I mean he's doing okay in New Japan. I mean now they're on a hiatus obviously due to the pandemic, but that's what I'm saying. NXT specifically Triple H, I feel like is so good on always looking forward and being like, okay, what's my next move? So I feel like Karrion's like that first building block into like the next wave post Adam Cole, Gargano, Ciampa.
I don't know who else they're gonna pair him with. Because now you got to bid with AEW. Now you're in a bidding war with them.
Yeah. I mean, this is like Hall and Nash all over again. Hey, can you match this? Nope, I can't see ya.
Yeah, with Cole, but...
And he's the hottest thing going for them.
Anyway, especially when you got Shad and Tony Khan's money rule.
Oh, yeah.
Bank account.
Long live the Jacksonville Jaguars.
That's a bank account.
What's the
I don't want to hear about Ted Turner's bank account because he drove him into the ground with that bank account.
Actually, it wasn't so much Ted Turner's Eric Bishop, but...
and my boy Russo was sent. Vince Russo put the final nail in the coffin.
Yes. I mean, he put the belt on Arquette, but... Yeah. I think it doesn't take a genius to figure out how the wrestling world feels about that. You know, ironically now he actually is an indie wrestler, so go figure. He's done some like indie like that,
good
like hardcore matches.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Whatever. Anyway, all right.
And then if Adam loses, and he goes to AEW.
I don't want him to get called up. Like selfishly, I don't want him or the Undisputed Era to get called up to Raw or SmackDown. I want them to stay the hell away from Raw. But then again, like Paul Heyman's booking it. But then like I feel like they'd be perfect for SmackDown. I don't know. But
Depends what Vince does.
Here's my thing too. Wasn't NXT supposed to be a separate third brand? So why are you rating them now? Like that's where I get so confused. I know it's not the first.
Wrestlers.
Huh? Yeah, I get that.
Because of the COVID cuts.
Yeah, but I heard a lot of them they might resign. But I don't know. It's so confusing because like don't tell me you're a third brand and then you rate them. Like I don't know. It's just frustrating because I really I think the best thing that happened was like they couldn't make it back from Saudi Arabia in the October thing, and then that's what
NXT had to come in.
Yeah, and NXT basically came in. That was probably one of the best Friday Night SmackDowns I've seen in a long, long time.
Since Fox, for sure, since Fox.
They were on Fox.
That's what I'm saying. Since the Fox deal.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, you had that night. DB was wrestling Adam Cole.
That was good.
And then they did a really good job of integrating the SmackDown superstars for sure.
Like obviously, there's rosters I want to see Cole facing the main roster. Yeah, but
right, but not at the expense of deteriorating Undisputed Era.
I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see how it plays out with him.
I agree. And then our main event here
was the triple threat for the NXT Women's title: Io Shirai versus Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair. Obviously, Charlotte won it because mainly over Rhea because she was having visa problems.
Yeah, that's why I was so confused, like why they dropped it.
But that makes sense. Like it came out like she had visa problems with the whole pandemic, and it was hard for her to come. So Charlotte had to win that match.
Yeah.
And then as I was watching this match, I was like, okay, so Charlotte's dropping it because I think she's gonna face Asuka next Sunday at Backlash.
And that's what I'm afraid of because WWE is like, oh my God, there's a Flair on the roster. They need a title.
Dude,
and
if they
again,
take it off Asuka,
I'm gonna be furious because again, it's gonna be the push pull. Again, perfect example. Asuka in NXT. Dominant force.
Longest reigning champion.
Or
did Rhea beat it? I don't think Rhea beat it.
No, Rhea did. Longest reigning champion. Or was it Baszler that beat it? I can't remember.